What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show with an excellent guest today that we're excited to talk to, where we are doing our freaking best to bring together the world of real estate, entrepreneurs alike, and cryptocurrency because, gosh, crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next couple of years or so, and it's not even close. And so we are pumped to have you guys along on the journey today. Corey, take it away.
Good morning, Hexicans. How are we doing on Monday? This is a beautiful day in Hexaco. We have a special guest to help us pump out the week. We got Mr. Crypto Coffee, the OG, the legend, the absolute legend. Guys, little info. When I first learned about Hex, I went on YouTube and I went on like Twitter and I just searched around who had the best information on how to stake Hex and set up a staking ladder. And I came across Crypto Coffee's course and it was absolutely amazing. It was chock full of information. And that's where I learned how to stake Hex, to be honest with you. So, man, we are truly honored and blessed for you to be on our show with us today, being that you've been in the game so long and we're kind of the new guys on the street. And, man, it's been cool to hang out with you in Puerto Rico now. You're out there on the island. I moved to the island at the beginning of the year. I know you don't need much of an introduction, man, but go ahead and tell the audience some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been in crypto, 9 years now, but just met so many cool people such as yourselves along the way. And especially you guys coming from a real estate background, I think have a lot of different life experience that could translate over, you know. And I know you've got your somewhat of a syndicate, maybe you would call it. I don't really know, but you know, the higher net worth individuals that tend to be in real estate also make great candidates for crypto because they like cash flow. They understand cash flow, and you know, real estate, it's not necessarily free cash flow. Like you got to do maintenance to the buildings. Like I've never really come across an asset class where you literally just set it and forget it and do nothing at all. There's no cost to, you know, fix a washing machine. There's no, you know, tenant doesn't pay the rent. You just got to worry about the code is going to do what the code is going to do. So, yeah, it just seems like the easiest opportunity of our lifetimes right now. You know, just if you're not in this asset class, I think people are going to miss out. And there's not much time left, guys. I feel a bull market coming on, but hey, I could be wrong.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brizology is here. He asked a question that everyone's been wondering for a long time.
Look at Maxie. Before we get into that question, we got to wind the show down here, Coffee. You and Brizology comes on. That's the end of the show. He's the top. He's always the top. And so this is it, guys. We'll see you next week.
Signal, yeah, he's a good top signal. What's up, Briz? Good to see you. I don't really know what kind of coffee Crypto Coffee is. I used to have 3 different blends, you know. So I had Satoshi's Vision was a dark roast. I had Moon Fuel was medium roast, and then I had Proof of Beans, which was the light roast. That's where the name Crypto Coffee comes from. I don't know if you guys know this. I used to have an e-commerce store. I sold coffee in exchange for crypto.
Oh.
It was a fucking terrible idea because nobody wants to ever spend their coffee or spend their crypto on anything, right? They just want to hoard it. So yeah, that's where the name came from. And so I guess that's my answer to you, Briz. Pick your flavor, bro.
I love that. Hey, we appreciate everybody here in the comments. This is a really good turnout here. We appreciate you guys being in. Tam. Hey, shout out to if I'm mistaken, you say the word Tam, but I believe it's Tam that went ahead and posted this weekend on Twitter and said offered Ben Armstrong if he want to come out.
You just went mute.
Went mute, Dane.
But yeah, you know, about Ben Armstrong though, he's locally. Sorry, you're still muted, but I think I could fill in where you dropped off. Basically, yeah, Ben reached out to us, right? And say what you want about Ben Armstrong. Some people love him, some people hate him. What I don't think people realize he's doing is he's actually playing the kind of the outrage marketing Richard Hart playbook kind of game right now. Like a lot of the stuff he's doing is kind of tongue in cheek or straight up prank, you know, just to drive an emotional reaction. And it works, right? People love to hate him. And then he's got some hardcore followers that love him. And he used to have 1 million subscribers, right? So we're teaming up just because, you know, at least for now, our interests and our goals overlap. He's especially interested in the Richard Hart case because he understands the impact it could have on all of crypto and the precedent it could set for, you know, every other crypto that's on the chopping block, because really nobody's safe. Hex and Pulse Chain just, happened to be first to the slaughterhouse. But, Richard's going to fight back and hopefully win that. And Ben wants to help promote things like the amicus brief, things like using his political connections. I mean, he's a well-connected guy. A lot of people know him, for better or worse, right? But, people can be useful when you have aligned incentives, right? So I think eyeballs are eyeballs at the end of the day. And I don't know if I could say too much about his plans, but he wants to basically expose, Hex and Pulse Chain for what they are, meaning not scams and all that stuff. He's already made one video, but I think he's going to continue to make some content. And I don't know if I'm speaking too soon, but I think he just put out a video yesterday about Hex and Pulse Chain or something like that. So, he's on our team and we've been welcoming him with open arms. I know a couple of people out there, probably have some not so nice things to say, but we haven't scared him away yet, which is great. And I think he actually tweeted just earlier today that he was just blown away by, the open arms that the community greeted him with. And I like that because I'm not so sure that 3 years ago, I'm not so sure it would have went down the same way. We were a lot, we've gone through our growing pains as a community as well. So we definitely scared a lot of people away, You're not staking Hex, you're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. But I think people have come around and BitBoy is just one of many gates to open.
Yeah, it's funny because I see a lot of some of the maxis or the toxic people on Twitter talking about, he just wants to use us for engagement. So we want to use him for engagement too. Like we're using each other. This is okay. And this is kind of right. It's a mutual using of each other. And I'm all about it, man. Bring them all on. Bring Ivan on tech. Bring all the different eyeballs and community over. I mean, because you got to think about it. He probably does have some diehard XRP guys who like to watch him. Maybe some diehard Cardano guys who still enjoy watching BitBoy or Ben Armstrong. BitBoy, the brand is dead now, but still bringing those guys over to look at our ecosystem. Our ecosystem is badass. Some people just got to take a look. That's all it is, and that allows them to take that look.
Yeah. This is just I like to say Pulse Chain is kind of like an off-ramp for haters because if they hated on Hex, they have a new chance to admit that they were, and even if they don't admit they were wrong, they could kind of mosey their way into the community and say, oh, well, I understand Pulse Chain. Maybe Hex isn't for me, but secretly it's okay to change your mind in crypto, and we'll welcome anybody, even if you said some not so nice things. Not that Ben ever did. Ben was always friends with Richard. He was. Ben's company or the BitBoy, the man formerly known as BitBoy, his handlers, I guess, had an aversion to Hex Richard Hart. They thought it was going to be reputation damaging, when in fact it's actually a huge boost for your reputation. Anybody that talks about Pulse Chain, negative or not, it's their engagement goes through the roof. I mean, you can check out lunarcrush.com and see all the tweets and activity. It's like nothing else out there. So I think Ben's making a smart strategic move, and so are we. By just we're not going to just we're not just going to be like BitBoy crypto #1 fanboy club, but we're both working towards the common goal of spreading real crypto to the entire world.
Yep. Absolutely. Is my mic working now? We're good.
Yeah, we can hear you, Dave.
Cool. Yeah, and absolutely. I think that's a great comment here. Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats, and I think that it goes without saying. Our community will continue to grow during the bull run. There's a lot of people that are engaging now. There's a lot of people coming back. They'll continue to do so, and I think it's just there's a lot of wisdom in making sure that you're making your own financial decisions. You're doing your own due diligence. Be wise about who you follow and how you utilize information that people may be putting out, including us. And I think it's never more important to say that now as we're seeing new people come in and some of the people, and I'm not talking about Ben in particular, but other people have certainly not had our best interest at heart. And so be careful out there, friends.
Yeah, when people say, Hex and Pulse Chain are blackballed from crypto, I mean, in the mainstream circles, they are. And that's what, my new initiative kind of with the Pulse Chain Foundation, having a board seat there. We're trying to bring these gates down by forming somewhat of a professional, and I know crypto is like the opposite of professional, but we need to get our foot in the door places. We need to act somewhat as a cohesive unit, or at least have like representatives, so that when you go up to an exchange, you can't just say, hey, I'm Hex Lena 5555 on Twitter. How much? We're not going to take you serious. No, but Hex Lena, love you out there, but you need they're used to the good old boys game, right? Like, hey, they're basically like a lot of centralized finance, but just copy pasted into crypto world. So if you want to talk to KuCoin, there's a company full of people that has a form that you got to fill out, and they ask you, who are your representatives? What are their LinkedIn profiles, right? Like having a LinkedIn in crypto does not really jive with the real crypto, folks. But we still have to get the gates down. We got to get on CoinMarketCap. We got to get on CoinGecko. They claim that we need exchange listings, right? And that's just, they're going to keep inventing new excuses as to why they don't want to list us. But eventually we're going to be so hard to ignore. And these marketing initiatives is basically what they are. Nobody should use centralized exchanges, but if people's perceived reputation of being on a centralized exchange is worth anything at all, they can just be like useful on-ramps and off-ramps that you can just get in and get out as soon as you can. Never, ever, ever keep your money on there. But you get on enough centralized exchanges, and then you get on CoinGecko, you get on CoinMarketCap. That's 500 million eyeballs per month or impressions per month. And then the mainstream guys feel okay talking about it, even though we know that's not real crypto. We got to kind of play the game a little bit, and we're doing a great job. I mean, Hex 3 years ago did not look nearly as awesome as things look today. Like we just
agreed.
From every end, it looks like we're unstoppable,
Yeah, you guys are doing an amazing job, and I got all the faith that you guys are going to get us on these platforms and get us the exposure. I mean, it's a matter of time. And I always tell like our real estate investors who get involved in this ecosystem, they're like, one of the first questions they'll ask, well, can I go to Coinbase and buy it? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, where's the best real estate deals found at? When they understand this, and they're like, well, you off market. I'm like, exactly. You go to off market, you go direct to seller to get the best real estate deals. You don't go to the MLS. It's the same with crypto. Let's get and tackle these assets when they first come out before they hit the mainstream. And that way you're one of the early adopters. And then it clicks for them. They're like, oh, I get it. And that's why there is a little more learning that has to go along with you buying these assets. But then once they understand that, then they're all about it because they understand buying off-market deals. And that's what Pulse Chain is. We're buying an off-market deal here. And it's still in deep discounted value. We're still like 9x to even catch up to Cardano. We have like that same amount of user base. So it's like, yeah. So man, you guys are doing the Lord's work out there. I'm happy for what you guys are doing.
That's a great analogy, for the real estate guys. That's a great analogy. You don't find the best housing deals on Zillow necessarily from what I know, but you got to have the insider info. And by the time it's easy to buy Pulse Chain, by the time it's one click to buy Pulse Chain, the price might be 100x higher from here. We don't know, but that's when it's easy. When it's on Coinbase, a lot of the opportunity is gone. So just think of these as stepping stones along the way. Yeah, we're going to celebrate the small wins in between, but we have a long way to go, and it's still very, very early. By the way, it's also, I feel weird, like, taking so much credit for all the hard work that basically Marlon has done from the Atlanta Blockchain Center. He's the guy that's got, boots on the ground. He's so well connected with everybody. He's a great leader for the foundation. And when he asked me to join, I said, yeah, because, I could just tell that he's got the energy and drive and real world connections. Even,
Excellent.
with just all kinds of people. Like I was on the phone with Ben the other day and he's like, oh, Marlon, get him on the phone. And we just randomly called up Marlon and we all started talking. And it's just these kinds of people that are well connected in real life with other people that I think can make a somewhat of an impact as well, because they carry themselves professionally. They have actual connections, and Twitter's awesome. It's all fun and it's like very entertaining, but it's not where you really get shit done a lot of times.
No, it's where I go for a good laugh. That's about it, because most of the time, there's so much toxicity rolling around in there. And there's some good stuff on there, don't get me wrong. But yeah, you got to be very selective. I mean, Dane's the king at the mute button and the block on Twitter because he just doesn't want his feed all garbaged up.
Yeah, and I like you're talking about bringing more sophistication to crypto. That was one of the things that honestly took me a little. It took some doing for me. I mean, we come from real estate, right? And there's a lot of sophistication there. And I personally like that. I like feeling like I can go and engage with people that are doing big things in life, making big moves. I really enjoy that component. And with crypto, like the memes and some of the videos, and you're like, what the frick's going on here? That was one of the things we hope to bring as well. As now we're here for it. We enjoy the community. We like all the craziness and whatnot. And we hope to bring some sophistication along with that, so everybody can kind of find a spot where they feel comfy and can get in. And a lot of the big money, at least the big money that we know, they want more sophistication to feel comfy rather than, buying something like Cum Rocket and thinking you're going to make a bunch of money off that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but that's not to say, there's no opportunity. Like I see people hosting Twitter spaces all the time on Twitter and explaining and walking people through. There's good aspects of social media, when used correctly and stuff. And everyone has their niche and their strong points, right? So I'm not trying to say, hey, all of everyone on Twitter is wasting their time. No, it's a great source of information. And that's another thing that Pulse Chain, the whole community, Hacks Pulse Chain community, we really excel at using social media for, amplifying our message out there. It's just like, it's maybe a small 10% or less of, toxicity that it's the loud vocal minority that kind of like, shits in the punch bowl and ruins the party sometimes, but that's not a lot. That's not often, you know what I mean? So, another thing we want to do is kind of fulfill what Richard had asked for on Twitter earlier about having native USDC or native Tether issued on Pulse Chain. That might be a lofty goal. I've already reached out, individually to the Tether company, the USDC company. I've emailed them, but, I didn't get anything in response. So maybe if we're more persistent on those fronts, we can mitigate some of the stablecoin risk as well.
Hey, Coffee, do you know Franklin?
Yeah, Franklin St. Hex.
He's there. Franklin's in Puerto Rico. He used to work for Circle. Maybe give him a jingle, or I got his information if you need his information.
No shit.
He used to work for Circle for a very long time, and he knows all about the inner workings over there. So like he would be a good connection to see getting in touch with those guys.
No, that's awesome. I was just hanging out with him the other day, like last weekend. So
yeah, he used to work for Circle, man. Like the guy
didn't even mention that to me. Come on, Franklin.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Franklin, if you're watching the show, bro, what the hell, man?
Come on, dude.
Well, no, I think that's great, doing the Lord's work. One of the things that man, on our show we get a ton of commentary about is Puerto Rico, and I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions around that, how some of the parameters you need to meet in order to get the tax benefits. And so since Coffee has moved to Puerto Rico more recently, Corey's been there since last year, I'll be there in 30 days or a little less than 30 days. I thought it'd be good to be able to talk through some of that and make sure that you guys that are tuning in here are well informed, and hopefully we could be a source of information to help you make a decision if that's something that you're considering. So if you guys are game, let's jump into that. And you guys that are in the comments, feel free to post questions as we're moving through. And we'd love to get to what we can. One of the first questions from Urban Productions, just see, me and Corey are both married, so I don't know if we have a strong opinion on this one. Maybe maybe you do though, Coffee. Any takes on the women out there?
Well, I'm relatively new, but look, you're gonna find some opportunities everywhere. It just, I guess, it depends, right? Like, I don't know. I've had good experiences, but like, it's not. Look, it's like it depends on what you're looking for, right? I don't feel like it's gonna be difficult to meet people, meet girls down here at all. It just depends what you're looking for, right? If you're already married, like a lot of people are, it could be a good place. When it comes to like, if you have kids and stuff and you want to put them in schools, that's when I don't really know. But then I know like Big K, for example, is out here and he's been doing that just fine. Look, all I'll say is I've been having a blast, and it's not, you've got your people that are down here on vacation, right? So like a lot of people will just come temporarily. You've got a lot of girls come here just on vacation, right? So it's like, I tend to drift right now more towards the gringas that actually speak English. But I am learning Spanish, and that's a primary motivating factor as well. So it definitely helps with the learning process. I'll tell you that.
I like it. Let's talk through some of the parameters that people need to meet in order. In fact, we'll talk about Act 60. So if you were considering Puerto Rico, help you understand what parameters you need to meet to be able to come and potentially shelter some of your gains. I think it goes without saying, none of us here are financial advisors or CPAs. You want to talk with all of those types of licensed individuals before you make a jump like this. We're just going to give you our experiences and the best of our understanding. You guys use it for what you will. So let's jump into Act 60. In fact, and I'll have you guys kind of tag team these topics. Corey, what are some of the things to meet Act 60? Act 60 is what allows people to get the tax benefits. Talk us through some of the things that people need to do in order to qualify for the tax benefits through Act 60.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of intricacies that I don't know, but I'll just tell you what I do know, just from my experience, right? What fit me to make the move. And so, like, you have to be on the island for 6 months and a day, which I think equals out to 184 days. Rate's 183. I can't remember exactly. 183, 184 days out of the year, you have to be on the island. It just, when you're on the island, being there counts. So, like, if you fly in, like 10 o'clock at night, that counts as a day for Puerto Rico, which is really cool. And I have a app, it's called TaxBird on my phone, which tracks, keeps track of your days on the island. You want to keep track of, like, obviously keep all your airline tickets, all your any proof besides the TaxBird app. If you ever get audited for some reason, you have that stuff, right? Showing, look, hey, I was here for my 6 months of the day. You have to show that Puerto Rico is a home, meaning that you have more ties in or more things going on in Puerto Rico than you do somewhere else. So you can't, for example, if you're married like I am, I'm not going to be able to prove Puerto Rico is my home if my wife and kids live in Arizona. It's just going to be hard to prove that to the IRS. If they come knocking on my door, you need to prove that you have more closer ties to Puerto Rico than where you're from. It's not, doesn't mean you can't have a house like in Arizona. You could have like an investment property, but your main property now in Puerto Rico needs to be your home. You got to have a lease signed and in place, or you could be buying a property. I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to be buying the property I'm in. Hopefully, I've already made an offer to my landlord, a soft offer, nothing concrete. So you need to have that. Showing that you have proof of residency, and you need to commit for 3 years. So now you need to be there 184 days out of the year. So a year, a half year, and a day every year. In 3 years, you got to commit, because otherwise, if you were to leave on the third year, like say you committed 2 years, or you did 2 years and then you left, well, then you could be liable for owing those back taxes of whatever you may or may not have sold, right? So you got to think about that. So we're going to want to commit to the 3 years that you're here. Now you can go longer than 3 years. There's no max, I guess, know of. You can be there for 15 years if you want. So that way you can finish out your hex stakes, for example. Might something to think about. But you so you got the 3 years, and that's for my understanding, the top of my head I could think of. I know there's more to it. There's more to it if you want an LLC to bring in money. Like if you're making income, if you have a business, like me and Dane have a business that we're doing, and we created a Puerto Rico LLC. That money, so it's different than the tax, what do you call it? Capital gains. Capital gains is 0% tax, meaning you can sell your crypto in 2025 and pay 0%. Now, when you get to the island, you're going to have to declare a cost basis on your crypto. It's called coming to the island pregnant with crypto. So if you come in, your say your portfolio is worth $500,000, you invested $100,000. No, you're going to owe gains on that $100,000 coming into the island, right? And then now any gains you make after that, you get the cost. You get the benefit. So if you sell in 2025, then it's a 0% capital gains. Now, if you have an LLC and you're bringing money in as you're making money, if you have a virtual business, under $3 million a year, you pay 4% on that money. Over $3 million, from my understanding, is 2%. And it was really cool because I came to the island last year and we have a business. And so I saw money coming into my Puerto Rico LLC. And so I immediately got to benefit by being doing this whole Puerto Rico move, even though I haven't sold any crypto, which I don't plan on doing probably until, I don't know, the end of this year, maybe 2025. I don't know, depending on what's going on with everything. So that's my understanding from a whole. I mean, I don't know if you can feel any other pieces in there, Crypto Coffee, that you may or may not know.
Look, you kind of nailed it, right? Half the year, closer connections test, meaning, your primary residence has to be here.
Thank you. That's what it's called.
Yeah, yes. I mean, that just means, it's very subjective, but you can't like have your wife and kids or whatever, like staying and living the entire year in Arizona and then you're just out here like staking out, just barely scraping
It's
by.
funny how many people ask that question, Crypto Coffee. Like, hey, can I have my wife? I'm like, bro, do you really want to live without your wife for 6 months a year? I was like, maybe
Some
you
people
shouldn't
might.
be
I don't
married. Like, maybe you shouldn't be
Yeah,
married.
depends
I
on
don't
your
know.
relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
That
are
doesn't
you
sound like a
happily
good marriage,
married?
you know?
Man,
No,
I
but
can escape my wife for 6 months out of the year. I'm like, bro.
I think the moral of the story is just commit to it and don't try to cheat the system. I have no
That's it.
problem. I have no problem with that. Being from Chicago, it's like, oh, you mean I get to escape the winter for 6 months of the year and just live somewhere beautiful with awesome, interesting people, like right by the beach? Like, yeah, what? It's hard for me not to say no to that, right? But again, it's everyone's at a different stage in their life. I guess it is easier when you're single and stuff, just because you don't have to worry about that. You do have to buy a property within 2 years, but that just means by the end of your second year, you have to have something bought. I saw somebody asking about how much are properties out here. It's interesting with real estate here, from what I hear and just from what I've been seeing online, is that they tend to fluctuate in value a little bit more with the markets than they would, let's say, in the United States, where they're always just trying, in the mainland, where they're always just like going up slowly every year. You don't really see values come down a whole lot. I mean, maybe we're just in the biggest bubble ever. Well, we are, but like
We
at
are.
the same time, in Puerto Rico, you might actually see prices significantly get discounted when there's like bear markets, such as right now, because a lot of people move here when times are good, and then they get wrecked in a bear market. And what a lot of people actually have to do is they end up moving back because they come here on an emotional roller coaster, right? They're riding high because they're all of a sudden their crypto account says like $10 million, and then they lose 95% of it, and they're like, crap, I can't afford this lifestyle that I just bought into. So I moved in the bear market, and I'm actually kind of cutting costs. I'm living pretty
Same.
humbly, I would say. It just kind of gearing up and preparing in advance. That would be kind of the way to do it. And it is pretty early in the year still, but again, if it's something that you want to commit to, just do it the right way. Just put your 6 months in, and then I think you can actually travel outside of the United States. Like, for example, if you spent, I think, 5 months in Puerto Rico, 4 months in the USA, and then 3 months abroad in like different countries, I don't think they would care so much about that. What they primarily care about, according to my lawyer, is more time on the island than on the mainland.
Yeah.
Right.
That
In
is
fact, I
accurate.
think you can go be a world traveler. I think as long as you don't spend more than 3 months a year on the mainland, you only need to spend 3 months in a day in Puerto Rico, and you can go travel wherever else you want in the world and still get all the tax benefits. Nice. I think it goes without saying, there's always people that are like, oh, but there's shelters in Dubai and in Europe and things like that. We've done a ton of research, and if you want to keep your citizenship as a U.S. citizen and have all those benefits there and have the tax benefits, technically you're supposed to pay taxes as if you're just a normal everyday person living on the mainland, even if you're in Dubai or Europe or wherever else in the world. So this is the only place in the world that you can legally, get all of these benefits. You can make your money and keep it too. There's lots of places to play in the gray area, but this is arguably the cleanest, most clear way to go and get these benefits.
And keep your citizenship.
Yes,
right.
That's a huge one. I've also heard this described as potentially, if you wanted to get rid of your citizenship one day, this is a good stepping stone out. So if you are on the fence about whether you want to totally be an expat or not, you can go to Puerto Rico, and then your exit tax would be 0%, right? Because if you've got 3 years in Puerto Rico, let's say, and then you want to totally renounce your citizenship, rather than paying an exit tax, you would still have X60 viability, and so you could just kind of get away without doing that. That's from what I hear. But no, I mean, I still want to remain a U.S. citizen right now. I like all the benefits that it brings. But if you are a digital nomad type, like Corey was saying, you can start your business, what's it called? Export services business. And as long as you have a type of business, like such as myself, which is entirely online, and I serve people all over the world, but it's more perfect for those digital nomad types where all you need is a laptop and a camera and stuff like that. Because you can reincorporate yourself in Puerto Rico, and then not only capital gains are 0%, but income tax goes down to 4%. You're not going to get much lower than that. Like, it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I would also throw in and recommend, if you guys are thinking about this, to give Puerto Rico a test drive. Go out there, hang out for a month, maybe 2 months.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Take the wife. If you're married, make sure she's happy with it, because if she's not happy with it, you're not going to be happy. I know how many times I've heard Oh yeah, I moved back because my wife wasn't happy. So make sure that she's gonna be happy. Now, Crypto Coffee's right. If you're single, it's way easier. You just go out there and hang out for a month on the beach. What do you got to lose? Meet some Hexicans and see if it's something that you want to do. I mean, and see what it's like to get an Uber. See what it's like to get a haircut. See what it's like to go grocery shopping. See what it's like to go out to eat. I got news for you. It kind of sucks to go out to eat there. We still do it. But you want to experience these things before you go and make the commitment, because you don't want to be, like I said, a year and a half in and go, oh, crap, I'm not going to finish this out. I'm not doing it. And then not finish the commitment you made. It's kind of like, in a way, Crypto Coffee, like when you create a hex stake, like you got to commit to that thing through and think out all the scenarios in your life that could happen that would cause you to EES that stake, or you know what's going to make you commit all the way through. It's the same thing with this Puerto Rico thing, man. Make sure you come out here and commit the 3 years that you need to complete it. And then you're going to get rewarded really well for doing so. I mean, assuming that we all do well in crypto and it's no financial advice.
Assuming money printer go burr again.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Right.
Yep.
Which,
you're betting on the government on turning the money printer on.
Yeah. Betting on currency debasement seems like a pretty safe bet to me. But
that's one of
it flows into superior cryptos like Pulse Chain and stuff, which I don't see many future timelines where that doesn't happen. At least, a 10, 50x on the table in like the most bearish scenario. So yeah, it feels good to be here now before, all calm before the storm.
Yeah. And you nailed it. So yeah, for you guys, we see it all the time in the comments. Like, after I get my crypto gains, I'll move to Puerto Rico. You need to make the move beforehand. Like Corey said, you have a cost basis. And so anything above that cost basis is what you're sheltering once you're there. And so
it's also
really
good to move now because you're probably at a loss on paper, right? So
I was last year for sure.
Yeah. So if you
I was wrecked. And so I get to show my account, like, look, I was wrecked. Okay.
Me too. But the cost basis for your cryptos is whatever you came in at. So if you came here, if you move here and you've got gains to report, you've got to pay all the gains.
Yep.
Like let's say you somehow, like if you bought Hex in the beginning of January and then you move here today, you probably do have some gains because the Pulse price doubled or tripled since then. And unfortunately you'd have to pay gains on entering. When you go back in retrospect. But I had another point too. I just forgot my train of thought.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
You also have to give a donation to an approved charity to qualify for Act 60. So you've got to do that. You've got to go ahead and pay.
And there's an additional
everything.
Yeah, there's an additional corporate filing every year too. And I think on the LLC also, if you want that import LLC, the Puerto Rico LLC, there's an additional fee for that every year too. But it's not a lot. It's like $5K, I think, for that. And then I think the charity's $10K, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm coming up on my charity. You do the charity on year 2. So I'm in year 2 now. So the end of this year, I should have that charity that I have to do. So
10 grand.
If you guys are willing to share, Coffee, you can finish your idea here. And then if you guys are willing to share some of the comments, or like how much did it cost to go ahead and make the move? If you guys are comfortable sharing a rough idea, it'll be good to see Coffee's single, and then Corey has his family. It'll be interesting to compare those.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Thanks for reminding me. I'm actually cutting costs. I'm saving money compared to what I was living in Chicago. I'm saving a lot of money right now. My rent is like half what I was paying in Chicago. I have an amazing place. I'm not telling you guys where because there's weirdos out there, but it's great quality. The real estate, there's some good options for you. Yeah. But someone's asking about like food and stuff, and I'm still looking. Look, I have a Costco membership, which is pretty nice. They still have Costco out here, but it is kind of hard to just go to like the local Supermax or Pueblo and find high quality food. But it's that's like any American grocery store, right? 90% of it is poison, and you just got to figure out what's not. So it's just America. It's still part of the USA, so you've got all that same processed junk food and stuff. But I've been looking for a good farmer's market or something. If you guys know of anything.
Yeah, there's a good there's a good one in Dorado. If you're ever out my way, there's one. They have a ranch where they raise cows and pigs and so it's all fresh meat, grass-fed out there.
Nice.
And so we go there. Yeah, you can get eggs, milk there. It's good.
What's the name?
I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Just put it
It's
in the chat
literally
if you remember.
5 minutes from my house, though.
Dude, that's exactly what I've been looking for, because it's, I just cook a lot of steak and eggs and stuff, and it's just I want it to be more grass-fed, humanely
We have
raised.
it out there. I'll find it
Yeah.
for you with coffee. I'll get the name for you.
Yeah.
It's just gonna force you to come out and visit me, man.
Damn it.
Right.
Oh yeah, Dorado's is a great place to go though. I've visited like Trevor Sarber out there, and we've hung out with some other people. Dorado is not. Someone's asking, is Dorado where everybody lives? And it's really not.
Everybody.
Not everybody. Yeah, you've got a lot of people just in the city of San Juan, like Santurce, Condado. You've got probably a good amount of people in Old San Juan, Viejo San Juan, and the Isla Verde is popular as well. But those are all within, like, Dorado's the farthest away. Isla Verde, Santurce, Condado, Old San Juan, those are all within 20 minutes of each other. And then if you want to go to Dorado, it's more of a, I would say, like a gated community type of vibe, which is about 45 minutes west. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good for families. If I was single, I would have stayed in Isla Verde. That's where I was at when I first moved there. I was in an Airbnb out there, next to a bunch of there's a bunch of Hexicans that live there. And I would have stayed there if I was single. But man, with the family, once we went out to Dorado, we were like, oh, this is it. Like, this is what we kind of had back in the mainland. So I was like, and I'll give you a difference on cost. So I am paying more. For me, I pay more than I'm paying here. But then again, I bought this house at the last real estate crash. And so I'm paying practically nothing on this thing. And so, like, because I picked like a good deal up on it over there, we wanted a nice big size property. And so I'm paying a little bit more. I would say real estate's pretty comparable to what I'm paying here in Phoenix. And but I am reducing costs to help make up for that. To your point, Crypto Coffee, I just sold my Corvette 3 days ago. Signed it up. It's gone. I sold it. And I'm like, all right, there's that. That's gone. That's one extra liability off the table. And I'm cutting out other different liabilities to make sure that, basically my cost of living is just whatever I'm out there. And then my small little mortgage on this property here. So yeah, I mean, I would say cost is, for me, it's very comparable. I used to move me and my family out there. I probably ended up spending, because I bought a car. I had to get the property. I had to put a first month, last month, plus, I had to get furniture. Dane's got one. He's getting furnished, which is really nice. We didn't get a furnished property. I mean, out of pocket, plus you got to pay for schooling for your kids. I mean, it probably cost me around between 30 to 40 racks for me to make the move, is what it cost me. So, and it's going to be, everyone's be different.
There's a car tank.
I think mine's pretty comparable. Yeah. Cause the unit I'm renting is $3,500 a month. Kids' school is like $8,000 a kid. I've got 3 of them. That's another 24 grand. I'll ship my Tesla out there. That's another $4,000 to ship that. Like, it adds up pretty quick. Attorneys, $7,500 for our corporate and personal. I mean, like, it stacks up pretty quick. I'd say 40 is probably about what I'll do just to get out there. And then yeah, my costs will be pretty comparable to what we are here, other than schooling. I don't pay for private here, but the public school out there apparently is lacking in a huge way. And so you've got to figure out the schooling part. You got to figure out the schooling. And real estate, I've looked at a lot of real estate. I'd say it's pretty comparable in pricing, at least right now, to Utah, where like you can get somewhere decent. It's crazy to say this. You can get somewhere decent for like, $500,000. And I was looking for more like a family. If you want just a condo unit, it's smaller, it'd be less. But like house, $500,000, you can get something decent. But you probably, what we're more accustomed to living in, you're probably closer to like $1 million, a few $1,000,000 to get into, something more like that. So there's some numbers that I've found. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about all the money I put into the move, but it was pretty simple for me. I packed my whole life into like 3 suitcases and just came here, and that was it. Yeah, I got rid of a lot of my stuff, and I didn't ship a car over. But if you do ship a car, it does cost money. But like Dane was saying, if you got a Tesla, it's actually no tax on the move. If you do have any other car, you have to pay 20% of that car's value, and they mark the value of the car as if it was, I think, new, or like over Kelly Blue Book, like over what it's worth. I bought a very, very cheap car when I first moved here. It exploded on me. It literally caught on fire and it blew up. And
I remember I met you right the first night, right before you
Yeah.
bought that thing. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy this this junker. And I was
Yeah.
like, ugh, I
Real
hope that
piece of shit.
goes out okay.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, and I should have known better, but I bought something slightly nicer. Nothing crazy, no Corvette or anything like that, but this thing actually
You
works.
don't want a Corvette out there.
Yeah, I mean the potholes are also insane. Like, the roads are not the greatest, but coming from Chicago, I was used to that. It's just expect to probably just put maintenance into your car, or at least just drive something that might have a couple things wrong with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Fast Abdul asked, "Does Puerto Rico work for non-Americans?"
I don't
Unfortunately,
think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't think
We
so.
live in our bubble over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bubble, and I want to talk about that part. One of the because I remember somebody commented on your post, Dane, was like, "Oh, what besides taxes? Why would you want to move there?" Okay, besides it being a freaking tropical island paradise, where if you're into beaches and waterfalls,
You're in the Caribbean.
you're in the Caribbean. Like, I don't know what part of that doesn't sell you, but besides that, for me. Like on my real estate journey, why I was so successful with real estate is because I was around like-minded people who were on the same journey as me. I got in rooms with guys who were doing more deals than me, bigger deals than me, who ran bigger businesses than me. And that's how I was able to do the things I was able to do. It's no different in any asset class. Like if you're on a journey with a different asset class, it's just a different vehicle. Get in the rooms of those guys who are already like more successful than you in that asset class, who has done more deals than you, who's been in it longer than you. Well, Puerto Rico offers that to me because there's a lot of Hexicans out there, and a lot of them are OGs. A lot of them have been in crypto a lot longer besides before Hex. We'll take Big K for an example. Big K, he lives 5 minutes from me. He was in crypto way longer before Hex, and I literally got to meet him at the hamburger shop right down the road and pick his brain. I went over to his house for a Halloween. For a Halloween party, my kids and his kids got to play. Like, I wouldn't be rubbing elbows with people like that in Arizona. I mean, there's some guys out here, but not like in Puerto Rico. I mean, you have I'm able to create a new family and community of people who are on the same journey as I am on. Say like-minded people who are trying to grow together through this asset class. And that's another thing that Puerto Rico offers me that I can't get living in Arizona. So that's what's really remarkable. And plus you stack all that with all the other stuff. Like for me, it was a no-brainer. Like when I got out there, I was like, holy crap, this is where I got to be. This is home. And so this is the true Hexaco that I was looking for. And I was like, all right, well, I showed my wife. I went home and showed my wife, like, why? Like, honey, this is our portfolio now. Here's what happens when it does a 10X. And by the way, here's the money we're going to pay to Mr. IRS if we stay in Arizona, unless we buy a bunch of real estate, which is always an option. I love that option. But then you still have to go buy a bunch of real estate and you don't get to use that money. Yeah. And so I'm like, here's what we could keep. This is what we could give to Ling Ling if we do move here. Mila, she's like, all right, okay, fine, let's move. I'm like, all right. So yeah, it was for me, it was a no-brainer between all that stuff packaged up. But man, yeah, the guy who commented on your post, Dane, the other day, I was like, man, it's about being around like-minded people too, on the same journey as me, and I love that aspect.
Yeah, a lot of interesting folks. They're not always in crypto. A lot of real estate guys.
Yeah, I got those guys too.
Ironically, Peter Schiff lives here, and as a gold guy, he was the one that did most of the marketing. A lot of people didn't even know about X60 until Peter Schiff convinced all the crypto guys to move down here. So indirectly, Mr. Schiffy over there, he ended up convincing all of his enemies to move down with him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was talking to Brock Pierce the other day at Crypto Mondays, and we were talking about that a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Here's a good one, Corey. You want to take this question?
If you're selling real estate in the States, are you still taxed on UX tax capital gains? Yes, because you made the gains in the States. You made the gains on the mainland. So you're going to be paying those capital gains plus that money. So depending, there's something else. There's another caveat that goes along with it. And I can't remember exactly what it is. And Dane, I remember you had inquired a little bit about this when you were talking about you were to sell that one property when you were thinking about moving last year. But definitely remember, it's money. It's either if you're selling a business, that business has to appreciate while you're on the island before you sell it. That's how you get, the gains are made on the business. And same with crypto or anything else you're selling. It needs to be done while you're on the island.
Yeah. And you could talk to a CPA. In fact, I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder if you had like a brokerage that primary headquarters ran out of Puerto Rico and you did buying and selling and the money flowed back through Puerto Rico. If you could pull something like that off. I don't know. That'd be a good question for a
Yvonne
CPA,
is my realtor / he's a broker now in Puerto Rico who's very versed in Puerto Rico real estate, very versed in dealing with the crypto guys too. And so he's a guy that, an excellent resource in that regard.
Yeah. And if you guys do have questions, I mean, Coffee could speak for himself. Feel free to DM Corey or I. We can send you our attorney that we're working with. I'm sure Coffee's probably open to
you might have the same one. I feel like we're all referring the same guy to everybody. Like I know for a fact.
I think our guy is different. Yeah.
Oh,
maybe.
is it?
Unless you used what's
Roberto.
our guy's name?
Ours name is Roberto.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I've got a guy named Rafa who's he was recommended by like 4 or 5 other Hexicans. So like if it worked for them, and they're already got their stuff approved. It does take a while to get your license, right? So Act 60 is a license that basically says, hey, you're tax exempt. But just know that if you do come down, they're very slow. It's government, right? It's bureaucracy. So it's going to take you like 9 months to get it. So you might just be sitting around like really hoping and praying that it actually comes through. But from what I hear, it always does come through, even if it's in like October or even December, it will come through so that by the time you're filing your taxes for the previous year in 2025, it'll get there. It just, they take their time and just like any government agency, they don't really rush it along or anything.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, as far as as far as charities are concerned, I believe there's just an approved list where you pick one, you can donate your 10 grand. If I'm not mistaken. Is that right, you guys?
I don't think Fast Abdul's on that list. I know he likes bribes, but
that's right.
He's on a couple watch lists. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Does
this one's a good one.
This is a good question, and I think the answer is you only report the addresses that you want to report. So if you've got 10 addresses, but you're only selling out of one, that's kind of what I would. Why do they need to know your other 10, right? They don't because you didn't sell anything.
I got one it's KYC, right? That's the address that KYC that I've used for exchanges, send money to. Like it's a main transaction account, but you're right. I've got like all these other ones that never really do much activity at all. So
absolutely.
Go ahead.
I
was just going to say that I've got CPAs in the States too that handle all that, and so I offload through a centralized exchange, but it's all managed by like a different holding LLC, that has it owns various trusts and things like that. So you could check out MC Advisors, Mountain Crypto Advisors. That's who I use. It's partially owned by a couple of Hexicans, but it's also they've managed billions of dollars of traditional money for people like, the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals and stuff like that. For example, for many, many years, they've been doing traditional high net worth individuals, but they're branching out into crypto. And so their crypto branch is called Mountain Crypto Advisors.
Cool. That's great. And also, Drew has a good reference here. Yeah, if you're somebody that either is not a United States citizen or you're looking at giving up your citizenship, I've gotten on a call with the Nomad Capitalist Group. I've talked with a few others. There's some really cool services out there you can plug into. You can structure around where you live to get the best tax benefits. Once again, to really get those, if you're a United States citizen, you need to give up your citizenship. And I can't tell you how many of those, how many posts I've seen on that Coinfessions account on Twitter where somebody is like, bull run went great, give up my citizenship, moved to a new country, and then they lost it all. And now they're stuck in a foreign place with no friends and family, and they can't come back easily. So I'd just be wise. If you're going to make that decision, I'd say do a lot of research and be sure about it. Yeah.
I'll answer this one, Dane. What about wholesaling deals in Puerto Rico? So do you have a wholesaling company? If your wholesaling company is virtual, yes, I know a couple guys down there who are doing real estate wholesaling virtually, and they have a Puerto Rico LLC, and they're importing the money that way and paying the 4%. And so obviously you need to talk to an accountant or a lawyer about that, but it's being done, and there's some wholesalers down there doing it.
Yeah, I like it. Have you guys heard of this? I'm not familiar with this company, PR.
Yeah, PR Relocate was who Yvonne used to work for, and they were the ones initially we were going to do our Act 60 paperwork, but we ended up going with our Ethwell friends attorney instead.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty common. They're pretty popular online. They've got a lot of good SEO articles. If you're doing any research, you're going to come across P Relocate or whatever. I find it just to be a good website just for random stuff. Like, hey, how do I get my Auto Espresso, stamp or whatever, Marbete or Seos and stuff like that. So a lot of random just odds and ends about day-to-day life. Like the driving stuff here it's kind of weird, right? So you get your stickers and
it is weird.
Yeah.
Briz has a fair take. And I'd say with any of this type of stuff, like it's interesting because it's a risk reward value proposition on what you want to declare to the government and how you want to manage that. And, there's proper ways about going and managing your risk profile based upon who you are and how you want to do it. And so, exercise some wisdom there and you make your own decision in that respect. Yep. Cool. Well, this has been a good one, guys. We've covered a lot of PR stuff. Are there any other? I think we've gone through all the questions. Are there any other PR things, you want to talk about?
Oh, I wanted to just shill a couple events that are coming up. We have the Pulse Chain Tour Houston event that we'll be speaking at, talking about how we're using crypto as a wealth creation tool and using real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And that event's gonna be a fun one. So if you guys are in the Texas, Houston area, please come out and network with us. And then following that event, and I think Coffee's going to be there if I'm not mistaken, I'll let him talk about it, but we're going to also go to the Vegas event that they're doing. It's a 3-day event. We're not speaking at that one. We're just going to go hang out and network. And so if you guys are around Texas or Vegas for the Pulse Chain Tour meetup, come out, say hi. Let's go out, have a coffee and or have dinner or whatever have you. Me and Dane don't drink alcohol, but we'll go out and hang out with you while you drink alcohol. We don't mind it. So we'll drink kava if there's a kava bar somewhere. I love that. But yeah, come out and say hi to us. And Coffee, are you going to be at the Vegas one? I heard that you're going to be doing karaoke. That's what I heard. I don't know how.
Yeah, I think some people are putting words in my mouth, but we'll see what happens. Get a couple of
like Coffee, Hexologist, Dollar Cost Crypto, and I think RG3 are going to be doing karaoke that night. And I was like, what?
What? This is news to me, but
it's the rumor of the street in Hexaco, bro.
The Hex Street Boys. Yeah.
Hex Street Boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good time no matter what. I don't know. Karaoke may or may not be involved. I literally have no idea about that. People are but we're going to have fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, we're gonna come out for it, man. We weren't gonna come out for it at first, and then I was like, man, I'm in Arizona, so I'm like, man, it's just too close. I'm like, screw it, I'll go. I was gonna go back to Puerto Rico, the beginning of March, and I was like, well, if I extend it, I can just go hit that event and then go back to Puerto Rico. And so I'm extending, and I'm gonna go hit it. It's gonna be fun. I love networking.
Yeah, I'm excited to hang out with Dollar Cost Crypto as well. He's kind of like based around there, I think. So
yeah, he's kind of forefronting or spearheading the whole thing. I've heard like he's speaking at the main event. I know that. And so it should be, man, it's gonna be a blast. And I know like Axis is gonna be there. There's a lot of other. So it should be a pretty good size event, I think. So
yeah.
Oh,
what's the burger place that you mentioned?
The
Corey,
best on the island is Lulu's Burger. The freaking place, dude. The burgers are like this, and like they're made with grass-fed beef, and they might get it from that place that I live by. I don't know. I should ask them, but they have it's just a burger place, man. It's a mom and pop place. You sit outside like on a patio, a covered patio, and it's just you're gonna wait an hour for your burger. Yeah. But once you get it, it's the freaking bomb. Like it is so good. I've been there probably like 10 times already.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, I've been looking for some good restaurants. I've been to Cannon Club and Old San Juan is great for the vibe and stuff. You know? A lot of good mofongo, and I mean, if you like stuff like that, like
I do.
Yeah, I love it. So
I love food from different cultures, man. I mean, I used to travel a lot all over Asia. It's kind of my thing. My wife's Chinese, so I mean,
yeah,
you guys can kind of put two together. I love it. But I love different culture and their food, and I'm very experimental. Like I'm in the mindset of like I'm gonna try everything at least once. Like literally, I've eaten bugs in the Philippines. Like it's
yeah.
I will try everything one time before I say I don't like it. And yeah, so I mean, I love being in a different
You were eating
country.
bugs before it was cool.
Before it was like
Before Klaus
the
Schwab.
bugs, eat the bugs. Yeah, before the eat the bugs came
Yeah, man.
cool. I mean, I try everything once, man. I mean, you live once. I'm gonna try everything once, and that's
Yep.
kind of my model. And you never know if you're not gonna like it unless you try it. And it's just yeah. I mean, I've had balut. Balut, I will never eat again. Balut's very yeah, no. That's where you the duck egg. They grow the duck in the egg, and then you eat the. It's just yeah, it's no good.
Yikes.
That was back in my drinking days, coffee. Like I would have like when I would get like wasted, we would like challenge each other out there, and it was just yeah.
Yeah, man. That reminds me of I think I ate a scorpion in Thailand one time. It was a scorpion on a stick, and it was just like a fried. Yeah.
Were you
gross.
buzzed for that one? Because I'd have to be.
Oh yeah, I think I'm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I remember, yes.
But right.
That was like 10 years ago, man. I haven't been to Asia in a long time. That's a culture shock for you. I mean, Puerto Rico's nice. It's but it's a lot. It's got a lot of American things as well. All your typical fast food. But then I love mofongo and what else? Arroz mamposteado. It's like Puerto Rican fried rice with like sausage and stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
Like the yellow rice and beans. Yeah. A lot of plantains, tostones, fried plantains.
Tostones everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
it's good. I mean, it's good. You got to get used to it.
Empanadas. You have every kind of empanada you could think of. Everyone's got their own recipe, every restaurant.
Yeah.
And so like you'll find the ones that you'll fall in love with, and you'll find ones you're like, meh, not so good. But man, there's some amazing ones out there. It's my wife, even though she's Chinese, she loves making dumplings, and now she makes like just from like she got inspired by empanadas. She makes like this crossover empanada dumpling now at the house. It's like it's good. It's really good. Because she got inspiration from the empanada in Puerto Rico. It's but there's a really good coffee that in Old San Juan. Have you ever been to like a Brazilian steakhouse? I love those with all the different meats. Well, there's a Puerto Rican version of that there in Old San Juan. I got to find the name of it, and it's all meats raised there on the island. It's only the island meats. And it's a Puerto Rican steakhouse like that, and they'll keep bringing you the different type of meats. And
it's funny they have like a fogo de chao here. They have like a lot of American chains, like
they do.
Yeah,
I try to stay away from it. I mean, I'll go to it, but like when I'm being adventurous and I want to try something new,
you want the real authentic stuff.
The authentic, yeah. I want to go experience the culture, man. That's my shtick. I love it. So.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, the event in Vegas is the Pulse Chain Tour. And do you guys know the dates off the top of your head? I don't.
Yeah, it's March 6th through 9th, 369.
Yeah, that's for the Vegas one. Yep. Houston is on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken, of this month. And we're speaking at that one, guys. So if you want to come out there and kind of see what we do and what we talk about, we're going to be giving you a lot of the pretty much the same presentation that we give at all our real estate events. And a lot of you guys are like, well, what do you say to these real estate investors that makes them come over and do crypto with you? We're going to talk about that at that event because there will be real estate investors there, which is why they invited us, because they're going to have like a real estate audience. And they're like, can you guys come and talk to these real estate guys? How you doing what you're doing? And so, yeah, it'll be a fun time. So come out and say hi, network with us. Let's go have dinner, whether it's in Houston or in Vegas. We're going to hit both.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Show up if you can. If you're in the area within like a 2-hour drive, like why not?
Yeah. Are you in PR right now, Coffee?
Yep.
That's Vegas is a strong trek from PR. It's like
I know. And the only flight is Spirit Airlines out of there. So it's like fuck. Yeah. I'll be sitting on a cardboard seat the whole time.
It's the same when I go to Phoenix, man. It's an all day trek, and it's
Yep. Cool, guys. Coffee. I think everybody here pretty well knows you, but nonetheless, for anybody that may not, where can they find you? What do you what do you want to share?
Your course too, bro.
Look, if you're brand new,
don't you?
Yeah. If you're brand new to crypto, I think the code bear market actually still works, even though it's not advertised. I think I forgot to deactivate that, so you can still use code bear market for 25% off. hexpassiveincome.com, specifically if you're brand new to crypto. If nothing that we're talking about makes any sense to you, if you want to get started from square one, this course is everything I've known over the past 9 years. It could save you years of time in the learning process, could save you thousands of dollars in potential mistakes. It's a lot of people ask me for consulting, and I just say get the course because it's something that everything is sequentially packed. All the links are there for you, and then you can go back and rewatch it. You don't have to, call me on the phone all the time. It's just the way that I feel I can help the maximum number of people with the same 24 hours in the day, right? Because you can do consulting for like 5 or 10 guys, but then, it starts to become your whole life. And so, yeah. So, look, guys, a problem solver wants to know, how do I get info to attend? pulsechaintour.com, pulsechaintour.com. All the ticket info is there. And yes, Heximus, I will try out Taizan House. That sounds pretty good. Guys, you're making me hungry. I'm just like, I'm starving now after this stream. Dude.
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today. I intermittent fast. So like, I don't eat till late lunch. And so I'm like,
I do the same thing. Yeah. It's really good for you. It's
it is good
autophagy, right? All your dead cells die away.
Yep. And I did my first 72-hour fast while I was there in Puerto Rico. And my goal is now to do a 72-hour fast once a quarter for that purpose. It reduces your risk of getting cancer. It reduces your aging and all that good stuff. So it's, I mean, we're not getting any younger, guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got these things called senescent cells in your body that are just like zombie cells that need to be cleaned up. But when your body is digesting a bunch of food and crap like all the time, it doesn't have a time to take a break, especially if you're eating right when you wake up or right before you go to bed. I'm bad with the nighttime eating. I don't get hungry in the morning, but there are people advertising out there. Hey, part of a balanced breakfast, first thing you do when you wake up is sugar blast your whole body with orange juice and frosted flakes. Dude. And like, here, have grease. A donut. Yeah, bacon, a whole plate full of bacon. Just if you can, just as a rule of thumb, 2 hours after you wake up and 2 hours before you go to bed, just don't eat during that window. Dude. It's not even really hardcore fasting. You're gonna feel a lot better.
Yep.
I like it. Well, cool, guys. It's been a blast. Coffee, thanks for having us on. Oh, jeepers, we got a little.
You're having me on. What are you talking about?
Hey, bro, are you going to be over at the Vegas event? I know that's kind of...
He said he was, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of your neck of the woods. I know you're in Cali out there somewhere, so Vegas would be too bad. Yeah, it'd be great to hang out.
Yeah,
nice to
appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you, sir. It's great. Yeah, well, thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, Coffee, for being on today. Pleasure to interact with you all the time. Go ahead. What did you want to
add? Just catch me later today. I'm going to have Pulse domains on my channel later today.
Dude, I love that protocol, man. I went on there and I made a bunch of different domains. He actually, Dane, we have DeFi Crypto Alliance. So that's for us. We got that reserved. I got it in my wallets whenever we need it for whatever. We got it. And then I made a bunch of, I got CoreyGeary.pulse. I got that all set up. And I've even bought a few other ones just for fun. I mean, they're cheap. Like, they're really cheap. So I was playing around it over the weekend. Really cool protocol. Yeah, it makes that right there to me, Coffee. I know we're about to get off, but that really shows how sophisticated Pulse Chain really is. That we have these protocols that basically, I mean, that's the Ethereum. The ENS thing was a huge in the last market cycle. People were making and selling these domains for almost millions of dollars. And so it just shows that that we are just as good, if not better, than Ethereum, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so it's really
we're
cool
fulfilling everything that Ethereum users can't do right now because they cost them $20 just for a gas fee to buy it. So,
right. So,
cool, guys. Well, yeah, make sure you catch Crypto Coffee. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, I think a lot of you guys already are. You're missing out. Yeah, make sure to go over there and check that out. And once again, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you later.
See you guys.
Peace. See you.